All right. I believe it is time. Believe I am streaming. So, let's get started. Um, Welcome to my second stream of this series. Today, we're building a flying race car, I guess you could call it. Is it even a car if it flies? I don't know. That's something I guess we will name. Um, so I haven't really decided what to call this thing, but here it is. If you joined me on my last stream, I think we kind of talked about some different names, maybe Sky Shark or a Leapfrog. I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna do some work on it today. I think I'm gonna kind of put some work into the legs and the kind of suspension system that doesn't exist right at the moment, which is exactly what I would love to make exist, because that is certainly what I am lacking on this thing. I just wanted to take a quick second to make sure I'm up and rolling. Yes, I think I'm good. Yeah, let me get a chat rolling as well so that I can... Nobody's watching. I mean, I doubt anybody's going to watch this, to be honest. But if you do, I would love to be able to talk to you. So let's explore what that looks like. If you give me 1 second. I'm sorry. This is kind of like I said, my first or second stream ever. So I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And we're gonna figure it out together. That's not how to do it. Anyways, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just learning. Let me go to YouTube on my other monitor here. Switch my account because that is not the one I want to do it through. Perfect. Okay. Right on. Anyways, Sky Shark, Leapfrog, whatever it's called. Let's take a look at kind of what it is. So far, this is what I've got. I like to call it a leapfrog because when it's in motion, the legs kind of go back like a frog leaping. But I also kind of like to call it the Sky Shark because it's got this fin that looks very sharkish. And if it's blue, it looks like a shark. If it's green, it looks like a frog. This is kind of in my sci-fi planet. The everything kind of flies via magnetism. So this little disc right here thing in the middle is actually a propulsion system in a way. It's basically a magnet to the planet's core that allows it to fly. There's a lot of science behind that. I'm not going to get into that right now, but that's how it works. And this is like a particularly sporty version of a car or vehicle. I am a big car fan. Love me some cars. And so, yeah, I wanted to kind of make something like that. Something that's cool. Of course, kind of taking after the quite a few different cars, but you got the gull wing doors that kind of flap like a bird, but go up. I think I talked about this in my last stream on this, but let's see, it's based off of or inspired by the McLaren Senna, which is my dream car of all time. Of course, you know, I have made something completely different and unique that is not, doesn't even remotely look like the Senna. It looks like this, which is obviously way different, but cool starting spot. I love how I made it to where the doors go up. This little thing goes up. The trunk, the frunk, whatever you want to call it. Flies via a joystick. You got some cool little race seats in there. You got this big wing. Oh, that's not supposed to be shown. And I guess this is a good time to point out kind of everything on the car is basically a temporary piece. So kind of like when I model stuff like this, I kind of start out, I do what's called blocking. So it's like you kind of start out with, you know, just a temporary placeholder of something, but like kind of put it in the, you know, make it very kind of close to what you're ultimately going for. So that's what literally, like, you could say everything on this car so far is. I think I will definitely do a like sorry, I'm looking at my other screen here. I know. I'm pulling up my chat. I think I just figured it out. I did just figure it out. All right. Cool. I couldn't figure out how to get my stream or my chat working. Literally second live stream ever. So I don't even know if people will ever watch this, but honestly, like, I'm going to be modeling this anyway. You might as well join me. I hope you do. And I really would love to hear if you like it or what kind of stuff you'd want to see. So don't feel afraid to express your opinion, please. I don't even remember where I was going, but first of all, I'm taking that off. That's really annoying. All right, so let's get started. I want to work on the legs, but before we do that, I want to show you kind of what I'm going for, how the mechanics of everything in this world works. So as I kind of briefly explained, everything kind of revolves around magnetism in this world. So there's these very strong, on planet Lumen, there's these very strong magnets that basically allow for things to fly and allows for kind of just a lot of things. So like, for example, this is what I refer to as the Pilot Autumn. It's kind of a character that farms and digs and meets people and talks to people and stuff like that. But basically, how it works is you got like the arm joints here and the little red dots. Those are magnets. And basically, these magnets will interact with these magnets on this side to actually make the arm move and bend and stuff like that. And so like all the joints, all the moving pieces and stuff, it's all based off of magnetism. And it's really cool because like the hand can actually move completely separately from the body. Like it can disconnect and go over like 10 feet or whatever, probably even way farther, but still work because there's electrical currents running through the magnets that make it bend. Anyways, that was a very long-winded explanation for what I'm doing today with the Racer. Oh, dude, classic Blender. Okay, cool. Blender freezes and crashes all the time. And every time I do, I just sit there and tell myself, it's free. It's free. I'd be mad a lot of times at Blender if I paid for it. But I don't. So I can't complain. Anyways, the feet. So I got these like temporary placeholder shocks / feet, whatever. And I have those animated to where they can go back. And those are just kind of showing me where the ultimate legs are going to go. However, I think these look ridiculous. So I made them kind of more legit where they have these shocks and then you have these little feet, and it's kind of cool because the feet actually animate to go in. I have a lot of cleaning up to do on these, but you get the point. That's what it's going to look like kind of eventually. And let's see. Boom. Nope. Okay, so what I got to do to start is, bear with me, make everything connected to this little hub. Because when the leg is in its upright position up here, those are going to have to be, you know, why is that not connected to that? Boom. Those are going to have to be gone. They're going to have to hide. So, anyways. Why is that? You stupid thing. Okay. Let's just clear all those parents. Alright, let's remove all the animation from that. I'm just gonna go back. I don't want to do that right now. I want to make this leg operate kind of like the pilot that I showed you. So it's kind of on like a ball, and then it goes into another ball. And yeah, so let's do that. I'm gonna clear all the parents from this first, and then let's clear all the animations from everything. I'd love to know, like, if you guys are interested. I don't know if like anybody who watches the stream watches because they think the world is cool, or because they're, you know, Blender heads, I guess you could say, or what. I don't know. Let me know. If you watch this, do you like the technical stuff, or do you just kind of want to see what? What do you want to see? So I want to start by making the ball head, basically, that I wanted to do. And that is going to start by oops. I want to make sure that's selected. Cool. And then let's create the ball joint. Let's make it way more of a fine ball, basically. Cool. This is going to act as like an a way for it to be omnidirectional. And I basically, like, the way I do art and all this kind of stuff is I just start with like the most basic pieces that I know, and then I go add the detail later. So it's kind of funny because you when you watch art be made, at least the way I do it, it's like you watch it and you'll just think like, I don't get it. What is he going for? What is he going for? I'll keep building on this thing. It just makes you think more and more like, what is he going for? And then suddenly it'll all click, and when you see it together, it's like, oh, that's what it is. So that's probably kind of similar to what this is going to be. So bear with me on that, I guess. Okay, so I need something for the magnets to attach to. I like to use hexagons. I don't know why. It's just kind of like a theme for the whole world that I have. It just started with that pilot. Oops. And nope, that was the wrong button. And yeah, sorry, I do get distracted very easy. Not because I get distracted, but because I can't multitask. Boom. Okay, cool. There's that. So what I want to do is place this. Nope. This way. This way. There we go. And then on each side of this, there can be a magnet. Oh, you know what else I need? Let me think. I need, okay, 2 of these little things. So let's extend this out a little bit. GY, boom. Oh, it's set to local. That explains a lot. Boom. Okay, cool. I always love just creating these weird mechanics for these things. Like, this is something that would not be possible on Earth. And so it's so exciting for me to, like, not only make it, but invent it. I love that. And the funny part about it, inventing it, is it acts as an excuse for me not even remotely being an engineer. Like, it's kind of funny. I feel like if an engineer saw me do this stuff, they would pick it apart and be like, bro, that's not even remotely possible. Do you even know what you're doing? And the truth is like, nope, I have no idea what I'm doing. But you can get away with that when it's, you know, on a different planet. Okay, one thing that I'm going to do that I just realized is, yeah. I've got all of these ball joints and stuff figured out from a different project. So I'm gonna bring those in. I don't think you can see my other screen, but that's okay. There we go. Cool. So now I'm just going to unparent those so I can delete this guy. Let me go close this screen. Boom. So from the pilot autumn I just showed you, this is the arm. And what I love about that is I've already got all of this kind of sorted out. Oh, you know what I just realized? Oh, never mind. Cool. So I need to basically make this go in several ways. So how am I going to do that? Are all these separate? These are all separate. So what I need to do is copy and paste that, and then cool. I'm gonna move that. No, I'm not gonna move that. I'm going to take all of these and all of these and all of those and all of those, and then join them. Should I join them? Whatever, sure, let's join those. Whoa. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm actually going to delete all of this. Yes, I just did all of that, but it no longer serves me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make this straight up, other way, and then move it to there. Cool. But the thing is, I don't need... let's see. Oh, not that button, this button. I don't need this entire bottom piece, basically. So what I kind of want to do is just remove it. Not really delete it, but just kind of move it out of sight. Boom. Okay, so I got that. Let's go into X-ray mode so I can get all that. Cool. Boom. Okay, now let's bring back all the other pieces. Whoa. That's a lot of pieces. Where are the other pieces? What the? Boom. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna delete that. I don't need that. And then is this under feet? Okay, so I'm gonna hide this. Let's see, hide this, but also put it in the right group. Cool. Now I can move this back up. Boom, there we go. Awesome. Now let's bring those two pieces back that it just hid. Cool. Now I got the first ball bearing. Okay, now my vision's coming to life. This kind of goes back to the whole, like, things are a work in progress until they're done kind of thing. And it's hard to sometimes see the vision until the vision's there. So now that I got it kind of there, what I'm going to do is, oh, those weren't connected. Those need to be connected. All right, join, boom. Okay, cool. Every time I rotate an object, I do it the wrong way. It's kind of funny. So first of all, let's move this selection over there. And I think the ship goes this way. So now basically I can actually show you how this works. Just give me a second. Cool. So basically, like, this magnet right here, the red one, will interact with this other red magnet, and because they're both really powerful magnets, basically they can manipulate how the leg moves, which is kind of cool. And if everything is following that, then yeah, so it can basically, like, yeah, I don't know, move everything. Let's bring this back and it just looks cool too. I don't know. It looks like one of those things that you look at it and you're like, what? How does that work? I don't know. It captures my curiosity, and I hope it captures other people's too. If I saw this in the wild, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? Damn it. 19 minutes. 19 minutes I made it into the stream without cussing. That's actually pretty good. I'm trying not to. I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but I fucking did it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It is funny though. Okay, so now, whoa. Of course, this has a lot of parts from the last model that are not needed here. So I'm going to remove them and then kind of meld it with the body so that it looks seamless. Let's do that, shall we? Boom, boom, boom. Then now I can come in and grab all that, delete all that, gone. Cool. Now, first of all, let's bring back the body. That way I can tell how far to take this. Cool. Dude, I love it when things come together. I've got to have it come through at least a tad bit. Okay. So, kind of my process with this stuff is I'll come through, do the details later of the whole thing. For now, I just kind of like, I'm not so focused on the details, just kind of placeholder stuff. So also it would be kind of cool if this was actually aligned with that magnet. So let's align these two magnets right at the bottom here. What would be the best way to view this from here? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I hate how those are not perfectly aligned because they kind of need to be, I think. So what that means is I'm going to take this, just all these magnets and just move them up. By the way, this is a good time to point out that nothing is modeled or textured yet. I don't know if you know anything about like a 3D, modeling and stuff, but basically like you have the mesh that is the object, and then you have the texture, which is the actual like color and reflectiveness and stuff like that of it. And so the texturing is something I will do much later. So when you see this like red dot, eventually it's called halo. So it's actually like, it's got a specific look, which is basically like kind of like a multicolored iridescent kind of piece of metal. That's what halo looks like. So that, making it actually look like that, is a much later process, but that will happen. So for now, the red things will be way different. But basically this ball bearing is held on by this magnet right here. And then like this magnet will attract this one. And then when it's time to move, the polarity of this magnet right here will actually be reversed, which will kind of push this away, kind of like this. And when it gets to this point, this top magnet will actually start to attract this one. And it'll go like that. So basically, that's how that works. That's the mechanics. Yeah, that's how like everything in this world kind of works. So basically now, I'm loving this. This is looking sweet, but I need to do the same thing on the foot. So let's do that, shall we? First of all, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to delete that because I don't need that anymore. And I'm going to basically take both of these, copy and paste them, and move them down. Boom, 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 boom. let's see, which one do I want to have? I think I want to have this one on top. Whoa. Okay. So that definitely needs to be rotated the right way, which, oh, dude, every time. I always get it wrong and like rotate it the opposite way. Every time. I'm so bad about it. One day I'm going to figure it out, I promise. Today is not that day. I'm going to continue to do it wrong until I accidentally do it right so many times that it just like sticks. So if we're talking about art philosophy, I guess that's it. Do it right. Do it wrong so many times until you accidentally start doing it right. Cool. Now these are lined up. Are these the right way? Hold on. I don't think I'm doing this right. I am. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. But it's really high, so I need to make it more like that. I really love modeling and making stuff like this. God, it's fun. I don't know. If you don't do it, I would recommend getting into it. Blender is free. Always has been, probably always will be. And it's just such a great tool. Like, I guarantee you've seen movies that have used Blender, used video games, or played video games that use Blender. It's just such a powerful and great tool. And a little bit about my process, I guess. Usually I model this kind of stuff in Blender. And then eventually, when it's done, I'll take it into Unreal Engine and do the texturing and animating. Oh my god. Ah. And that's my process. It's quite the process. Cool. Look at that. We've got the foot mechanics. Now we need the rest of the foot that I hid, which is this. Because I would love to make this not cover the entire thing. Boom. Let's just do that, and then let's make it to where this inner ring. Can I do that? Yes. Nope. What I got to do, I guess, is we're gonna make this even, like this inner ring even with. First of all, let's get a select box, even with that. So, boom. More even, I guess I should say. Cool, man. I've got my leg mechanics in motion. That's looking pretty cool. That is looking pretty cool. Is there anything else I think I should add? No. Okay. What next? What next would be... So as I kind of mentioned earlier, I have placeholders for everything, and then I go and add in the detail later. And in this placeholder, I have this here leg. That's a good leg, fine leg. And the cool thing about that placeholder leg is it animates to go up into position. So anyways, I'm gonna make it so my new leg does that. And the first thing that I want to do that is let's start making these all like actual in-place pieces. So I think what I want to do is first of all make this part of the racer itself, the leapfrog or the sky shark. Still need your guys' help on determining the name. It's highly inspired by the Warthog, the most legendary, coolest vehicle. Oh, that I know. Oh, sorry. Still early morning here. And love the Warthog. Love it. So this is kind of based off of that. Anyways, long story short, let's make these two pieces one. Boom. And then I'm not going to make everything else one, but I'm going to make this a parent of this. Boom. So that when I move this, that piece follows, and then do the same to this. Boom. That piece follows that now. This piece and this piece can be joined. Okay, this piece and this piece can be joined. Whoa. I don't want that to be that though. So let's see. So when I join these, that changed the material to follow this, and I honestly do not want that. I want that to have its own thing. Cool. And then basically, like, for now, I'm just gonna make all of these follow that hub. That's not what I eventually want to do, but that is, well, a big process, so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Cool, so now if I move this around, oops. I was gonna say everything else should move, but it didn't, so let's parent these two, boom. Now I'm gonna move this main hub around, everything else follows that, cool. So if I bring back these legs and this leg, and then view it directly from the front, now I should be able to rotate this like such, view it from the top, and then rotate this like such. Now, look at that, dude. The placeholder, the real leg has replaced the placeholder. That's so satisfying. So let's remove the placeholder. And then of course, you got this, which is kind of weird. I don't want that to be like sideways, obviously, because if you're going in for a landing and your foot is sideways, that probably would not be good. You might crash and everybody on board would die, which would make some good books. If you guys don't know, this world is basically centered around books. I just released my first one, I Am Arwen. It's on Amazon. It takes place in this world using a lot of technology that I explore on this channel. Obviously not this because it's not done yet. This is a piece in the next book, which is tentatively titled Ominous Omens. I don't know. I love that, but I don't know if that'll stick. But anyways, dude, that looks so freaking cool. That's awesome. And like when this thing gets animated, basically like these are going to be shocks that, whoa, there we go, kind of go up into it like that. So like when it lands, it's these just go up into each other like that. And that's so cool. That's going to be so cool. Like animating this is a whole other ball game. First I just kind of got to get everything, in place. And that's what's fun. That's what I love to do. So cool, man. Before I get all of this, before I add this leg to all the other sides, what I want to do now, what do I want to do now? I want to test that this actually works. So let's test that it actually works. And I'm going to do that by animating it. So let's start like that. Oops, I definitely want this set to global. Boom. Boom. If I view it from the side, that's the side. Y, boom. Cool. Dude, that looks way better than the placeholder. Holy crap. Cool. So I'm just going to start with just the leg. What's kind of cool is like these little toes or whatever. The leapfrog toes or the sky shark. I guess sharks don't have toes, but if they did, this would be them. The toes are going to go up into this little hub. This little hub. I actually want to figure out how that works too. So let's animate that. I'm going to come up to 40. Boom. Oops. That's actually not bad. So let's, I think basically like it's gonna be this. So it's gonna, all these toes will disappear into there instead of going into the body, and then you'll just kind of have that little leg like that. Oh yeah, and then, you know what's funny? I was gonna make it to where when it's in flight mode, all of these legs kind of go up into the shock above it. But honestly, I think it looks kind of cool like that. I'm gonna make some kind of like shields to hide all this, kind of like wings. Maybe I'll get to that today. Yeah, let's do that now. That'd be cool. Anyways, I'm good at going on rants, aren't I? So the doors, okay, these go to 46. I'm OCD as F, so let's make it 45. Okay, anyways, whatever. Cool. I like it. I think that's a kind of cool mechanic. Yeah, dude, especially when those toes all animate into the hub. That's going to look sick. Always curious to hear your guys' thoughts too, of course, so let me know what you think. But for the time being, let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. So, what I want to do, I think, is somehow make like a kind of a cover. A shield that just kind of hides all this. How I want to do that though, I guess I have not figured out. Most of art is just trying stuff and figuring it out that way. So let's do that, shall we? I said I kind of like a hexagon for a lot of my design principles in this world, for no particular purpose. But let's start by hiding the racer. I'm also going to create, or probably like, nah, let's bring back the racer. I don't know. -90. Oh, dude. I told you, I always rotate it backwards because I'm trying to do it like this. And I thought this time I was smart and I was going to use a negative property to maybe do it correctly. Yeah, that's not what happened. I messed it up yet again. Anyways, one of these days. Okay, so I kind of want to use this somehow to hide all of these little things. So let's somehow make that. First of all, whoa. I think this, no. Where's the direct center of this? I think it's that. I don't know. Let's take a step back. I kind of want to hide this. Goodbye. Goodbye. Hello. Oh, actually, I need that. So let's add let's see. Let's select this. How should I do this? I guess that's kind of what I could do is this. Set the origin to the center. Yeah, okay, this will work. I'm just trying to align this with that properly. So now if I do that, perfect. Now that's perfectly in the center. And I can move on with my life. Let's move on with our lives. Cool. So if I bring back the racer, the body, where's the body? I think I call it the tub. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Now I got the tub. And I'm going to basically don't know. I kind of want it to come out like this. Boom. And then if I select this side, there's so many different ways that this could be designed. But I kind of like how it's like a sleeve, I guess would be a good way to put it. Kind of like the Pilot Autumn. He's got these like sleeve things that I love. They're so weird, but I love them. And I kind of want to emulate that with this on this. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Let's see, I actually want to go. Oh, not there. Local. All of this stuff highlights how I just don't even know really what I'm doing sometimes. Boom. And by sometimes I mean like kind of basically all the time. All of this art is just a process of do and figure out as you go. I don't know. That's kind of cool. What could I do with this? First of all, let's remove the face. Because you don't want to like, you can't block all that stuff. You just gotta hide it. You know what would actually be kind of cool? I don't know, because that kind of looks dumb. I'm gonna hide that for now and try instead to kind of focus it more like on the actual leg. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is only view these two. I'm going to start with it there. And I'm going to model this, almost, to be kind of like, I'm just going to do the exact same process that I did for the Pilot, honestly. Which is where I take a hexagon like this. I make it the right size. And then I twist it. And then, what else do I do? Boom, boom. How did I do that? I think I did it like, I think I moved these two back. Or actually, you know what? These four forward. Like that. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think, oh, wait, that was right. That was right. Yep, okay, and then if you guys aren't into 3D art, but you watch this stuff, you probably just laugh at my rambling, because I certainly do just kind of ramble. I don't know. You can really see. That's why I liked or wanted to do some streaming, because I just really like how I like watching the like raw process of other artists. I think it's awesome. It's always cool, of course, to see a final product, but it's also, in my opinion, really fun to watch it be made. Watch it go from like, what the heck is that thing, to all of a sudden a finished product. I love that personally. And so I wanted to kind of, bring that into what it is that I do. Let's hide that. Cool. Dude, sweet. Okay, now, what was the next thing I did for, so, the Pilot. Done this once before, and yeah. So, in Blender, there's this thing called lattice. And lattice is a great way to bend and manipulate mesh. And that is what we're going to do here. We're going to use a lattice to kind of twist this and bend it in a cool way. Whoops. Definitely want that to be fit it more. Whoa, why does that hit 5? Okay. Sweet. So now I'm going to use a lattice modifier and select this. And it distorts automatically, and that is probably most likely because I just adjusted the size of this, and I need to apply the scale. I saw a meme the other day that was like, when in doubt, apply the scale. Wow, that didn't work? Really? Okay, so when in doubt, apply the scale. Let's try it with that. In fact, though, I'm going to do just scale and rotation because I like how that's in the center. What the? I probably want to make the origin in the center. Okay, let's try that. Okay, why is that? I'm confused. What the heck? Let's just try all transforms. 3D art, along with, I guess, just like everything in life, is kind of just about figuring out why things are going wrong. Like you have a vision for something and it looks cool in your head, and then when you try to bring it into the real world, it does not work. And when you try to actually do it, I should say, it doesn't work. So this is all about figuring out why. Am I doing this right? Gotta be, right? Let's try scaling. Okay, well, that works. So, I don't know why it's weird like that, but let's just roll with it. Okay, whatever. Whatever, Blender. Be silly. Okay, so what I did on the pilot is I made this side a little bit bigger and this side a little bit smaller so that, as you can see, it kind of slants down. And then I rotated it over this axis to kind of twist it. I think that didn't work because, or maybe it did work, but I also just do need to subdivide this quite a few times anyway. Boom, look at that. That's twisty. Nice and twisty. That works. Cool. Boom. Let's continue to rotate this just a bit. It kind of, when you twist it too much, you know what I did? I messed up. I messed up big time. Let's literally just undo all of this. Okay, what I just realized that I did, I'm going to even delete this. So when I did the pilot, I think I had the whole leg done, didn't I? So I had, okay, delete this pathetic attempt. Let's hide the foot for now and all the toes. It's so funny to call them toes, but that's totally what they are. It's totally what they look like. Okay, so I made the shield thing and I want to make it go across the whole leg. And then I combined them together, and then I did the lattice thing while they were all together. That's what I did that was wrong. So let's do that again and not mess up. Messing up is totally okay though. I don't know, it's just a part of the process. If 3D modeling ever went right, God, it would be nice. Like the first time. But that's unrealistic. So we can't have that. Can we? We can't have nice things. All right, one more. Dude, this is gonna look sweet when it's done. I think this is a design style that I would love to do on more elements of the car as well. Car, plane. What do you even call a hovering vehicle? Hovering vehicle. Let's call it that. Because that's basically what it is. That is what it is. It does more than just hover though. It flies at very, very, very fast speeds. This one in particular is very, like, sporty. You can really maneuver well with this car. There I go again. Okay, dude, I got it. So what I want to do now is I want to add the lattice. Whoops. I know what I did last time that made it mess up so much. I changed the size of the lattice via the vertexes and not the actual thing. Like this. That's exactly what I did that made it go wrong. See? We're learning. It's funny, I've been doing this for years, but I swear I learned something new just about every time that I use Blender or 3D modeling or like Unreal Engine. But I also, when you learn new things, it gets confusing because it's like, well, that changes what I thought I knew. So it oftentimes just seems to bring out more questions than it, than you had before. And you think you figured something out, but you just get more and more confused, which is okay. It's all a part of the process. Okay, also I want to make this solid. Give it a little bit of depth because everything in life is depth or has depth. It's not just like a, thin, like even a piece of paper has depth. So you got to always make sure when you model stuff like this that, to make it look right, it's got at least a little bit of depth to it. Like that, which is cool. Sick. Okay. Now, if I add this lattice, boom, that worked perfectly because it did nothing. Sweet. So now, if I bend this, the whole thing will bend, which is awesome. Of course, it is stretching through the shock, and we do not want that. And the way to get rid of that is just to make it bigger on this side, which also makes it cool because it kind of like tapers. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Boom. Look at that. I think that is badass. But let's see how it looks with everything else. So, I also don't want all of these magnets hidden because that defeats the purpose. And also, it wouldn't make sense to have this face, would it? No, because I want to show that. Okay, cool. So now let's just parent these to this. And if I go to 1 and then bring in the racer, and let's just hide that for now. Dude, that's sick. That's cool. This is what I feared though. Yeah, it's too big. Shoot. Okay, so what I got to do, because that's clipping into the body of the racer, leapfrog, sky shark, whatever the heck it's called, and I do not want that. I need this to be more like that. There we go. And yep. Okay. Cool. But that creates new issues, of course, as always. Huh. Okay. That's fine. If I gotta... I would love it to be kind of like tapered, if that makes sense. To where this side is bigger, and then it gets smaller towards the end. So let's do that as much as I can without it going through the body. And same with this side. Gotta go to X-ray mode to... boom. About right there. It's about as much taper as I'm getting. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. It's, I would like to have a little bit more, but, you know, whatever. And then, of course, it looks like it's going through the body. Oh, it's not. Not even close. Cool. That's cool. It just kind of hides the shocks a little bit to where it's not just like a, you know, metal poles. Looks freaking sweet. I love that. These are going to be carbon fiber as well. I already know. Let's go ahead and apply those two modifiers. Oh, you know what also might be kind of cool? I wonder if adding a subdivision surface would work. Oh, not even remotely. Would be kind of cool though. So let's try that idea again. And let's just, so if I add the subdivision surface, I'm gonna have to subdivide this a lot for that to work. Which, oh my god, wait. 3 million verticals. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna add 3 million verticals. Okay. But I will add 62,000. That's fine. But it gets those weird creases. Oh, I hate those stupid creases. If you watched my last stream, you will know how much I hate those. What could I do to avoid that? Can I add a loop cut? Yes, I can add a loop cut. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Blender's frozen. Look at that weird, like... Okay, let's not do that. I don't know, dude. Maybe that's fine. Let's just... Yeah. I think what I want to do, though, is... I want this side to be a little bit more flush with the body. There we go. Dude, that actually added a big difference. That's cool. Sick. Kind of a productive stream. I mean, I got kind of a lot done. So I think I want this to be carbon fiber when I eventually bring it into Unreal Engine. So I'm going to make that as such right now, like call it that. And dude, I'm really loving this. I think this looks freaking sick. So what I want to do now is bring back the foot. I'm going to now start to apply this to other parts of the vehicle. Obviously, we want 4 legs. It'd be kind of awkward to only have one. So let's do that. Oops. Okay, so what's this thing even called? I don't know. I'm gonna do that save that for much later. So I'm gonna make sure the origin's right in the middle. Boom. And copy and paste it, and then rotate it on the Z-axis 180 degrees. And then if I change the Y-axis value from a negative to a positive, it should, because I work in perfect symmetry, go right to where it is on this side, which it does. Cool. So now what I want to do is do the same thing with the legs. But I got to make sure I select everything, and to do that I'm going to have to do that. Cool. Let's make sure this is the main thing, and then Control V, Control C, Control V. Cool. Let's just move this here for now. Oh, shoot, you know what? I shouldn't do it like that. I should do it like, just like I practiced. Not practiced, just like I did for the other thing, which is just do the opposite value there. Boom, boom. Perfect. All right, cool. And if I come over here and do kind of the same thing. Oh yeah, I knew that was gonna be wonky. But that's okay, because theoretically all I should have to do is well, don't do the foot. I gotta highlight this. Come over here. Nope, that's not it. Sometimes with these rotations, just about figuring out which axis has to be the negative version. Turns out it's that one. Cool. So now, dude, look at that. We have 2 front legs. Yeah, dude, that's so cool. Oh, man. I bet you, though, it doesn't animate the right way. Nope. That's okay. We basically just have to do the same process. That's expected. Let's see. That's also expected. Let's make this a negative, maybe. And make this also maybe a negative. Okay, maybe not make this one a negative. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Now that animates into place, just kind of like the other one. Dude. I'm not even going to worry about the foot right now. But. Ooh, it twists such a weird way. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I think the reason for that is probably because. See how it like spins? I don't really want that. Why is that? It's probably because this is a negative. Or, yep, that's why. Cool, so now that should take care of the spinning. Yeah. Badass, dude. Hell yeah. All right. So I think what I got to do now is simply select all of this. Make sure every leg component is selected. That does include you. And that does include you. Cool. And then I got to copy and paste. And then I got to move them. Let's just move them way out of the way for now. They exploded on me for a second. I did not want that to happen. Cool. So now I got to line these back legs up with the temporary ones. And I can do that by doing this. Of course, they're pointed the wrong way. I'll fix that here momentarily. But I'm just getting them in kind of the right spot. I started with design. So I always start with like design over functionality. And what that means is I picked this spot for these like back legs because basically that's what looked the coolest. And then I kind of go and like mold in the actual functionality after the fact. So that's awesome. There's obviously one problem though, which is that, oh no, location was animated and it moved. I got two on these back ones. I think I gotta erase all the animations and just start from scratch. Yeah. So if I move frames, yeah, there we go. Whatever. Cool. So let's move this. Oh, you know what I got to do? Bring back that. Bring this and Make sure it's lined up. Dude. That's cool. Oh, it's so gratifying to see all this hard work pay off. Hard work does pay off. Cool. So now I gotta apply that same rotation to this. I think I did rotate it on the Z axis. I'm trying to think of what axis I rotated that on. Whoa. So copy this, paste it here, and then make it a negative because it's the opposite side. Yeah. Yeah, that worked. Cool, man. I did it. Bro, that looks pretty cool. That looks awesome. Yeah. To make sure. Interesting. One of these feet, though, is going below the... I was trying to make it all, like, line up to the actual ground. And this one's above and that one's below. So two things need to be fixed. Or just one. Let's see. I feel like the back legs need to be a little bit longer, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the whole thing up. Make sure, yeah, okay. And place this gently on the ground. The red line is the ground. A lot of this does not line up, but whatever. I will fix that, I promise. Okay. Now, all of this needs to be extended out or dropped lower, which I think is probably the name of the game. Okay, so let's hide the racer. Let's hide the front legs. That might require a few. Let's do this. Highlight those. Bring back the racer. And then drop them down to there. Racer. That's my temporary name, I guess you could say. I feel like... Am I tripping? Or... Nope. One of these is lower than the other. Whoa. Oh, so I see what it is. It's that this is tilted. Okay, whatever. And that makes this tilted a little bit too. But, also, are these the same height? These are the same height, so why is it... Huh. I think it's just because, like, of the way the foot is sitting. So, whatever. Pretty sure that's what it is. Let's bring back the front legs. Yeah. Alright. That works. That's looking pretty even. Let's see what it looks like with the textures. The temporary textures. Oh, wow, okay. First of all, that's not going all the way into the body, which is not good. It does have to go into the body. So should I extend them or move the legs in? Honestly, if anything, I think I should move the legs out. Nah. Let's not do that. I like the position of them. So what I'm gonna do is, because it looks like there's a gap between this and the body. Yeah. Let's just move this in. This whole little... Boom. And also, I want to make sure I do the exact same, like, move on the other side. Is this the parameters for that? No. Well, guess I don't exactly know how. So what I'm going to do instead is just delete this, copy and paste, rotate it 100 degrees, and then make the y-axis a negative. And of course, it didn't copy and paste for some reason. So I'm going to do literally the exact same thing that I just did. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it copies and pastes because it copies and pastes in the exact same spot. Cool. All right, all right. Sick. So what I'm gonna do now is animate the legs. As a way of basically making sure that it works right. So what I want to do is start with it here, come over to 45, and basically animate it to there. Top view, hide the wings so I can see this better. Animate it to there. And then of course I can basically, I'm not going to do it right now, but my goal is to, you know, this whole leg can just kind of collapse into itself, so it's going to be flush with the bumper here. All the toes of the little leapfrog will kind of go in into itself, so they hide. Aerodynamics, right? That's all. Cool, man. I got that side done. Let's do this side. Boom, 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 boom. Parent this to that. Go back and place some keyframes. Let's actually first animate from this side. Whoa. That's just an optical illusion. Looks like it's like way off, but it's actually not. Boom. Dude. Look at that. Let's bring back the wings. This, I don't care about that. Dude, you know what? It's like when everything else is animated to open and stuff, why not make this one do that too? 45, and then clear the rotation and add a keyframe. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. Actually got a lot done in this stream. I've mentioned before that, of course, I don't want these to... Oh, whoa. How the heck did that happen? That's not good. That's why. Oh, I know why. Shit. Oh, man. Oh. I messed up on something, didn't I? But that's okay. It's not going to be too hard to fix. All I've got to do is move these up. It's always kind of funny when you make a bad mistake, but you don't realize it until like much later down the road. And then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, cool. So now I just gotta make sure that they stay at that Z height. Boom. Boom, boom. Okay, there we go. Now, obviously these are clipping through the body and we don't want that, but it's a start. That's more of an animation thing, you know. These toes will go into the hub when it's all said and done, but it's not said and done, so I'm not worrying about it right now. Oh, you are a pain in the butt. There you go. Cool. All right. I think I officially got it. Dude, that's so cool. That's so cool. This is, if you stuck with me this long in this stream, you have seen me start by saying that like it's hard to envision things when you first start them, but when you see it all come together, it's so exciting. And this is exactly that. I'm tempted to make these back legs a little bit fatter because like on a frog or whatever, the back legs are always bigger. I would also kind of like to make some like aerodynamic covers coming off of this and deflecting air off of this. This is a sports car thing, which is all about performance, which means, you know, I should think of aerodynamics. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel pretty done with this for the time being. I've got to get to work soon, so I would love to do more, but I can't, and I don't like starting things and then leaving right in the middle. So anyways, getting the legs done themselves is a big accomplishment for this live stream. I'm totally happy with it. And this vehicle is it's getting there. It's getting there. One thing let's do one thing though. There's one thing that I would love to fix. And that is I want one last thing for the day. Let's do a proof of concept for the toes. So let's make it so where they don't go through the body, which means I would need to have them by about here, totally inside the body. About frame 17. Okay, let's first of all start these about here, whatever frame that is. And cool. Now let's make sure this is on local. Y, boom. Oh, don't forget to add a keyframe, or else it's not gonna work. Boom, 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 boom. I could totally be doing this way cleaner, but you know, since this is just a test, whatever. But now, as you can see, the toes go up into the body. That's freaking cool, man. And now it's not gonna go through the body. However, this back one still does, so let's do the same for that. Why not? Which one is that? That's this one. Okay, let's first of all go to 3. Add some keyframes in its default spot, and then go to, what frame was that before? 17. Okay, cool. Let's start putting them in. But I kind of want to make sure that there we go. Actually putting them all the way in. I do need to like fix this to where it doesn't look like they're just disappearing through a wall. I'll definitely do that. I'm not there yet. This is all just still kind of blocking stuff out. This takes a long time, doesn't it? I think a lot of people, when they watch 3D art, are like, wow, that takes a lot of time. You know what? I've got a little bit of time left. Let's just do this whole foot. And I'm going to make this freaking quick for you guys because this is a boring process. You don't want to see this part. I don't want to do it. So let's just freaking do it quick. Get it out of the way with, whatever. Boom, boom, almost done. Put that in there, boom. Last one. This is going to be so cool to watch. It's always one thing just to see the completed project. It's a whole nother thing to see it like fully animated. Dude, when you see your work like fully animated, it's like, yes. It's so satisfying. All right. So now we have this foot. Oh, and it goes in. Dude, that's so cool. It's kind of funny. I mentioned aerodynamics because that would be so aerodynamic. And let's change this animation to where, God, this is just a little bit more out of the way. What axis would that be? First of all, global. Cool. About right there. All right. Heck yeah. I could even like make this inside, like not like that, like that. Take that, aerodynamics. Boom. Oh. There we go. That's pretty aerodynamic. I mean, it's better. You still have the freaking giant foot in the way, or the leg, but... Boom. Dude, that's so cool looking. Oh my god, heck yeah. That's it. I can't wait to see this beauty all textured and, like, actually animated. Oh, that's gonna be cool. Anyways, I think that's it. I think that's all I kind of wanted to work on. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot more that I would love to be doing to this right now, but I don't have the time today, unfortunately. It's almost 2 o'clock here in Colorado. Oh, and I have a actual life, unfortunately, that pulls me away from this. So, I doubt anybody's ever going to watch this. If you're watching this, if anybody ever sees this part right here, I don't know. Comment. And if I see it, I might not ever see it, but if I see it, maybe I'll send you something or something. I don't know. Just call me out on it. But that is not a legal obligation because I might never see this. So, yeah. If you made it through, first of all, thank you. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff. Like, I don't exactly know what to stream. I don't know how to stream. I'm figuring it out. I don't know what people want to see. I'm just doing what I like. But I do think it would be cool to like kind of incorporate what other people think would be cool. So if you think something would be cool, let me know. I would love to have something that you like as well. You know, I had fun with this. Maybe I could talk more like art, like the art behind the philosophy behind it. I'm making art for so long, and maybe I could say some cool stuff sometimes other than just creating stuff. Is this even fun? I don't know. Let me know. I'm curious. So anyways, my name is Travis. You just watched my stream. Thanks for watching my stream.